What's up, everybody? So, listen, today I want to tap into the greatest reason why agents fail. This is literally the reason why agents don't make it. I don't care what your lead gen is. It doesn't matter what your lead gen is. It doesn't matter if it's Zillow leads or, social media, open houses, direct mail, cold calling. It doesn't really matter what it is. The fact of the matter is that the number one reason why agents fail, the number one reason is because they just won't call people. They're scared to make calls. And because they're scared to make calls and have the right amount of conversations with the right people to build the pipeline they need to where they don't have to worry about business anymore. See, that's the thing, is that there's so much business out there. And if you would just have enough conversations to build your pipeline to the size that it needs to be, to create the scenario and environment that you never have to worry about another deal in your life, then you're going to succeed. But it just comes down to the fact that you're not willing to have enough conversations. So I'm going to ask this question. And if you're here early, great. You can answer in the comments. And I'm going to ask this question again in a minute when more people come on, because I want everybody to hear this. And I want you to really think about what I'm saying here, because this is going to hit you pretty hard. This is going to hit you pretty hard. If you are a buyer or a seller in this market right now, would you hire a real estate agent whom you knew for a fact was scared to make calls? I'm going to leave that right there for just a minute. Let you marinate on that for a second. And you can let me know in the comments. Matter of fact, let me know in the comments if you would hire an agent that was scared, that you knew for a fact was scared to call someone. I've asked this question on a couple of coaching calls, on a couple of Zooms. I've asked this question to a large group of agents, and I've yet to find anyone who tells me that they would hire a real estate agent who was scared to make calls. And so if you're in fact sitting there and you're scared to make calls, which I believe is the reason why 71%, literally the reason why 71% of agents didn't sell a single home last year, like the singular reason. If that's you and you're scared to make calls and you're sitting here thinking, well, why don't I have any business? Why won't anybody hire me to be their agent? Why don't I have any business happening? Well, you literally, by answering the question no, have admitted to the fact that you're unhireable. You want to know why people are ghosting you? You want to know why you can't get anything going on? Well, number one, you're not having enough conversations because you're scared of the phone, but the people you do talk to can see it dripping all over you, right? It's just your vibe. It's your aura. You're a scaredy cat. You're scared of your own shadow. This is the modern day adult version of the boogeyman. You're scared of the dark. It's what it is. I mean, I'm not coming at you either, because here's the plain and simple fact of the matter. The plain and simple fact of the matter is that everybody is scared of making calls. I still get call anxiety every single time I do a call session. The difference is I've been doing it so long that I know how to manage my anxiety. I understand how to deal with the anxiety. And like, when you hear an action statement like make calls, and you know that it's the thing you need to do, but you can look at that positively and expect great things, or negatively and expect horrible things. People are going to hang up on me. People aren't going to like me. I'm bugging people. Or you're going to expect positive things. Things are going to happen. Deals are going to happen. Relationships are going to be created. This is going to be awesome. If you look at it negatively, it creates doubt, which manufactures anxiety. Anxiety produces procrastination and inaction. That's the path you take when you choose to look at the action statement, make calls, negatively. You look at that action statement, you think, oh, this is going to be amazing. That creates faith in a great future, which manufactures anticipation, which makes you excited to take the action, and in turn creates immediate action. Because let me ask you like this. If you knew for a fact that if you made 1,000 calls that you would get 3 listings, 100% signed 3 listings, how quickly would you make those 1,000 calls? You'd make them yesterday. So the faith that you'll get the 3 listings creates the anticipation that manufactures that feeling inside of you that takes action. Anticipation, expectations is what creates the actions. Anxiety creates the procrastination. And it all comes from your manufactured, you have control over the way you're going to look at something. So now that more people are on the live here, I'm going to ask the question again. You can let me know in the comments, and then I'm going to dig into a little bit of data, and then I'm going to give you some exercises. Like today, I literally want to tell you how to become a master on the phone within just a couple of weeks, even if you're scared to death right now. Because you're only scared to death because you're worried that they're going to throw you off with something you've never seen before. You're worried they're going to say something that's going to catch you off guard and you're not going to know what to do. Well, I'm going to fix that today, right now, right here. And we're going to get rid of this forever so that you're not another statistic. And by the way, every single person has call anxiety. So when you think about thinking of something negative or positive and creating anxiety or anticipation, there's still a little bit of anxiety there. I don't care how good you get. And anybody can tell me, oh, I'm not scared of the phone at all. 100% not scared. You're lying. You're a liar. There is a piece of you, a little piece down in there that still gets anxiety every single time you make calls. So if you have call anxiety that to the level that is creating inaction, I want you to know right now, that's normal stuff, man. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You are totally normal. It's human to feel that way. But we've got to do what we need to do right now today to crack the code, to break this barrier, to tear in to that level of anxiety and just bring that level of anxiety down to a level that we can manage. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing for years. I brought it down to a level I can manage. See, that's the trick. You ain't going to get rid of it completely, and you're normal for having it. But let's get it down to a level we can manage. I'm going to ask the question for those of you just joining us. Would you, if you were a buyer or seller in today's market, would you hire a real estate agent whom you knew for a fact was scared to make calls? Let me know in the comments if you would, because I've yet to find somebody who said, yep, I would hire an agent who I knew for a fact was scared to make calls. And I'm not saying the prospect's going to go in your office and watch you either make calls or not make calls. They don't have to know. It's dripping all over you. They can see it in your eyes. They can feel it in your voice. You're scared. And it's not like you're scared. You have a level of anxiety from a lack of experience that you cannot manage. So it creates a vibe that they can smell on you a mile away. And that's why people are ghosting you. That's why people aren't doing business. That's why you don't. It's not just because you're not making calls. It's also because the people you do talk to smell you coming. They smell you a mile away. We got to change all that right now today. Are you ready to change that? Do you want to become the person? Because that's the thing, is if you're not the person behind closed doors that is hireable, because you all just admitted if you're scared to make calls, you're unhireable, and that's why you don't have business. If you want to become the person who everybody wants to hire, then you got to be the person behind closed doors that everybody wants to hire. That's why, listen, honestly, this is why I crushed it as a real estate agent, because I did the work behind closed doors that hardly anybody wanted to do. And when I was outside in the public, everybody knew what I was about. You can, again, smell it on me. You know for a fact what I'm about. You can tell what somebody's about just talking to them for a second. So if you're unhireable because you're not willing to do what if you're scared to do stuff behind closed doors, right? If you want to become hireable, now we have to become the person. You can't just fake it in public and then not be it behind closed doors. You got to be it. That's the only way to level up. That's the only way to get to the next level. That's the only way to stack inventory. That's the only way to become number one in your market. That's the only way. There's only one path to become the person. I'm going to teach you right now in this video. I'm going to teach you how to become the person, a master on the phone. I'm going to give you 2 different exercises that will crush this entire problem that you have over just the next couple of weeks so that you can move on past this and get on to the bigger and better things like how to actually talk to people, how to convert deals. Because the first part is just getting to where you're having the right amount of conversations. That's step 1. But that's not the last step. There's so many more steps after that, but we gotta conquer this hurdle first. At the very end, I'm going to give you one word that will solve all these problems. I'm going to give you 2 exercises, and I'm going to give you one word at the end that's going to solve all your problems. If you'll just get it down and stop making excuses. Okay. So first I wanted to dive into, this was on Keeping Current Matters. And it says the hardest part of starting a conversation with your leads right now. And this was a survey done with, X amount of agents. And there was don't have time. I'm not sure they'll respond. I don't really follow up much. 27% said, I don't know what to say. No, how you doing today? What can I do for you? Be a good one. What are you looking to do and why? Be a good one. But 50%, listen to this, 50% said, I'm afraid of seeming pushy or salesy. You're afraid of seeming salesy or pushy? Well, here's a novel concept. Don't be salesy and pushy. Here's what I learned a long time ago, right? And when I learned this, conversion was a breeze. I realized that it's not about convincing someone to do something. It's about becoming the person that everybody wants to do business with. They want to do business with. You're not trying to get them to do business with you. They want to do business with you because of who you are as a person. Are you a hard worker? Are you honest? Are you dependable? Do you have integrity? Do you do what you said you're going to do every single time you said you're going to do it? Are you true to yourself? Do you have a great home life? If you say I'm going to work out in the morning, do you work out in the morning? Become the person. Okay. So when you think about agents being afraid of feeling pushy or salesy, they don't understand sales. That's the first part. It's like we've been so badly programmed that we believe that we have to call sellers to get listings. We have to call sellers and say, hey, would you consider selling your house today? You don't know me. I don't know you. But will you sell your house so I can make some money? Will you sell your house so I can make some money? We don't know each other. But will you do something for me? Will you give me a little piece of your equity? All that equity you've been working so hard for over the last 3 to 5 to 10 years. Can I get a little bit of that? Can I get a little piece of that equity pie you've been working on so long? And I don't want just a piece of your equity. I want a piece of the whole thing, the whole purchase price, right? I want a piece of what you owe on the property. I want a percentage of what you owe. I want a percentage of the equity. I want a percentage of the property taxes you've been paying in. I want a percentage of all the maintenance and upkeep. I want a percentage of all that stuff, the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. Will you hand that over to me? Because I'm trying to make me some money today. And so that's what we feel like as real estate agents that we got to do because we've been badly programmed to think that way. Why? Because the mainstream coaches and trainers and brokers who never really even been there before, they're teaching you tactics, but they're not teaching you how to actually have a conversation with someone, understand what it is they want to do, put together an objective around building a career. They're just teaching how to close deals right now. Turn and burn, baby. Turn and burn. Well, I'm here to tell you guys that there's a different way. right? And I think one of the number one reasons was right here. Number or 27% said they don't know what to say. That goes hand in hand with 50% being afraid of sounding pushy or salesy, not knowing what to say. If you don't know what to say, that means you don't understand what the objective of the call is. So therefore, you feel like you got to be salesy and pushy because that's all you've ever been taught. And so now you're saying words that are pushy and salesy because you're trying to get them to do something. Stop trying to get people to do stuff. The objective of the call is simple, super simple. It's this: to make them feel comfortable enough with you. That's the first step. Make them feel comfortable enough. If they don't feel comfortable enough with you, they're not going to do anything. So that's the first step. So we got to become great at making people feel comfortable with us. How do we do that? Just feel comfortable with them. If you're nervous, if you're antsy, if you're talking fast, all that stuff, that's because you're not comfortable with them, and therefore they're not going to be comfortable with you. That's real simple. You being how do they know if you're comfortable? Because you're just talking normal. You guys see me on the phone. I'm laughing at these people. They say something weird, I start giggling and laughing. Why? Because I'm super comfortable. And I don't care. This is a big one. Write this one down. I don't care if they do business with me. I don't care if they do business with me or not. It doesn't matter to me. If they don't want to do business with me, there's a million other agents. Business is unlimited. Competition does not exist. I learned this a long time ago. I don't care if it doesn't matter to me if they say, I'm not looking for a yes. That's your problem. You think every single call you got to try to get a yes. And if you can't get yeses, then why even make calls? That's not the purpose of the call. It doesn't matter if it's a no. I'm not looking for a yes. I'm looking for a yes or a no. I'm just looking for a decision. Just tell me yes or no. I don't care what it is. If it's a no, that's awesome because the next person is going to say yes. And if they don't, I know the next person is going to say yes. It's just a numbers game. The more like write this down. Think about this. Think about this principle right here. I'm fixing to tell you. The more conversations you have, the more predictable your business is. The fewer conversations you have, the least predictable your business is. I can't predict what's going to happen if you call 500 people. I can give you a good idea of what your business looks like if you call 5,000, 10,000, and the higher it goes, the more predictable it is. 15,000, 20,000, the higher it goes, I can tell you. The more conversations you have, and again, guys, it doesn't matter what your lead gen is. I'm not just talking about cold calling. Do I think that's the best? Yes. Do I think that's the most efficient way to get to the exact people you need to talk to build your business to the level that you want? Yep. But it doesn't, you might not want to make $1 million tomorrow. You might want to build a $200,000 a year business. And look, if whatever your lead gen is, YouTube, Zillow, Instagram, direct, whatever it is, if it's producing enough conversations for you to build your business at the level that you want to grow at, then I'm happy. I'm not trying to force my, $1 million ambitions on you. But if you want to do 250,000 and you're not having enough conversations, you're not yielding enough conversations that will produce a $250,000 a year business, then we got a problem. We got a big problem, and we got to switch something up. So again, I don't care if they say yes or no. That's you guys' problem. You think you got to try to convince someone to do something. No, you don't. What you got to do is make them feel comfortable enough with you to tell you what they want to do. I don't care what they want to do. Just tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. What do you want to do, man? I'm not trying to get you to sell a house or buy a house, but tell me what you want to do. Well, we're not interested in that. Great. Do you guys think you'll ever move? I'm trying to get them talking about what they are thinking about doing now or in the future. I don't care if they buy or sell something today, buy or sell something in 5 years, buy or sell something next year, never buy or sell anything, use another agent. I don't care. I'm doing numbers, man. I got to get my volume up. You guys are working with 3 or 4 or 5 buyers. See, the next thing is scarcity. You're thinking so scarce that you got to try to, you got like 4 buyers or sellers you're working with. You got to figure out how to try to convert these people. No, you don't. Let them do whatever they do. Move on to other people. Come back to these people later. Follow up with these people later. Keep some new people coming into your ecosystem. Because you think scarcity, you think these are the only deals on the table for you. No, there's not. There's an unlimited amount of deals for you on the table. There's literally thousands of people in your market right now, today, that would love to hear from you today. You can't get to all of them. There's thousands of people in the market right now that would love to hear from you today, but you're letting them down. And you can't even get to all those people. You'd be doing amazing if you got to like 20, 30 people. That'd be crazy if you got, because you got a 10% pickup rate when you cold call. So you're talking about 20, 30 people. You're talking about 200 to 300 dials to get to the 20 or 30. And let's say like half of those are wrong numbers or acted weird. So really you got to do about double that. So that's like what's that? 400 to 600 calls to really get like 20 to 30 really great conversations. That'd be like crazy. I mean, you ain't going to do that many dials. I don't care if you got a dial, you got other stuff to do. But so my point is, you're not going to get to all the people that are dying to hear from you. They're sitting there at the phone right now waiting on you to call, but you're not calling. Why are you not calling them? I'll tell you why. Because you're catering to people that will never do business with you. You're not calling the people that want to do business with you because you're worried about what the people that don't want to do business with you are going to say. Why are you going to let somebody who doesn't want to do business with you control your business? And literally, it's funny, the people that will never do business with you will literally be the downfall of you. If you allow them to control your actions. What happens is you cater to the people who don't want to do business with you, and that same action pushes away the people who want to do business with you. It's the same thing with the weekly email. People won't do the weekly email because they're worried about unsubscribes. What? You're not going to send the email because of the people that don't want to do business with you, but the people that do want to do business with you aren't going to see the weekly email because you're not sending it because of the people that don't want to do business with you. And now you're pushing the people that want to do business with you away from you because of the people that don't want to do business with you. It's backwards, guys. That's why I'm bringing all this up, is to try to rearrange the furniture in your brain and bring you back down to a place where you have the right perspective on this stuff, man. Again, it doesn't matter what your lead gen is. Guess what? You got to talk to them. I'm speaking communication skills. I don't care if it's a Zillow lead. Give me a Zillow lead. Hey, how you doing? Ricky Carruth over here, whatever real estate company, whatever area. Yeah, you enjoying the day? Cool, me too. Man, it's nice out there, isn't it? Great. Well, listen, I don't want to take too much of your time. I see you were looking at this house online. Tell me what's going on. Are you guys looking to buy, or what's happening? You tell me. You tell me what's happening. It's the same thing with every single lead, man. I'm not trying to push something on somebody. When I use my trade up seller script, hey, how you doing? Mr. Johnson? Cool. Ricky Carruth, whatever real estate company, whatever area. How you doing today? Cool. Me too. I'm enjoying the day. Isn't it gorgeous? Great. Well, listen, I don't want to take too much of your time today, but I see you got a 3-bedroom over here. Do you need a bigger house? I got a 4-bedroom, a nice one right around the corner. I'd love to show you if you're interested. No? All right, cool. Do you guys think you'll ever move? I'm just trying to like spur the conversation into them telling me what they want to do. Because if I can get that, it's a wrap. Why? Because no other agents are asking these questions. They're just trying to sell properties. They're just trying to get deals done. They're not trying to actually help people do whatever it is they're trying to do. Okay. Let's see. What's another one? So having a great reason to call. This, if you're just tuning in, this pie chart shows that 50% of agents are afraid of seeming pushy or salesy. 27% said they don't know what to say. A really good, like, one reason why agents don't make calls is because they don't have a good enough reason. And so they think they have to call and like try to push something on someone. And that doesn't work. They get a lot of rejection when they do that. So they're like, ah, man, I can't make these calls. I can't do this, man. This is too much rejection and stuff. No, if you'd switch it around and do it the way it's supposed to be done and not try to put something off on somebody, but actually try to have a conversation about what they want to do and why, now all of a sudden you become excited about making calls because you're like, okay, how many people am I going to find out what they're looking to do so I can help them do it and get some business rolling in here? It's not complicated. You just have to 180 your perspective on what the objectives are. All right, I'm fixing to give you guys an exercise. This exercise is going to turn you into a cold calling master, a prospecting killer. You're going to be within just a few weeks if you will follow exactly what I'm saying here. I'm also going to give you another little warm-up strategy. But let me I'm trying to think of maybe one. Okay, here's a good one right here. I want to share with you one more thing that could help maybe switch your perspective just a little bit here on this subject. Okay. And that is the fact, think about this. That is the fact that just the notion that you live in the same area as the people that you're doing business with, you want to do business with, that you're reaching out to, that you're having conversations with, just the fact that you live in the same area during the same time, mind you, during the same year, mind you, gives you automatically an incredibly deep connection with every single person in your market. Why? Because you literally live in the same place at the same time. Do you know how rare that is? There's 8 billion people on earth. What's the percentages that a human being lives in the same place that you live during the same time? And then if you think about all the humans that have ever lived on earth and all the humans that will live on earth, and you take that number, think about it. You take that number and then you say, what's the chances that this person lives in the same area that I live in during the same time I live there? And then you break it down even further to the point that I actually get on a phone call with this person. Oh my God, the chances that you talk to that person is like trillions and trillions and trillions to one. It's crazy. So think about it like this. If you were on a train in London and you're riding along in this train and it's a 3 or 4 hour train ride, and across the aisle there's a gentleman over there that looks a little mean. Kind of mean mugging you, not necessarily mean mugging you, but just has like a mean look on their face. And you're like, oh, that person don't look like they're having a good day. I don't want nothing to do with that person. I'm going to avoid them. I'm not going to make eye contact. I don't want nothing to do with that person. Mean. And then somewhere on the train ride, something happens. You know, you get up to go to the bathroom or you drop something or something happens. And you end up having an interaction with this person. And next thing you know, you're in a conversation. And let's say you're from, let's just say Gulf Shores. I'm in Gulf Shores. Let's say I'm in Gulf Shores. Let's say it's me on the train and I'm in Gulf Shores. Or let's say it's you. Let's say it's you and you live in Miami. And we're on this train in London. This person looks mean. You end up in an interaction. You actually start having a conversation. Like one of you says, "Where are you from?" And literally, he says, "Miami." That moment that he says Miami was like an instant. You're like, "Oh, really?" Your whole voice changes. Your whole demeanor changes. The guard drops. What part of Miami? And you start talking to him like he's an actual human being. Not a mean person anymore. They're a human being. Why? Because you just realized that you're from the same area. You guys realize just the fact that you're from the same place as these people gives you a deep connection right off the bat before you even talk to them. Like, it's crazy. that we're scared to talk to our neighbors. People in the community, you should think of yourself as a volunteer worker. Think about this, a volunteer worker doing community outreach to see what you can do to help people in your community. By you not reaching out to people in your community to see what it is that they want to do concerning real estate and why, so that you can help them through your services, you're doing everyone a disservice. You're letting everyone down. And I don't want you to take that as like, you're a failure, because you're not. This is normal. I started out this video by saying the anxiety that you have to get on the phone is normal. I still have it. Every call session I make, I still have it. I just know how to manage it because I've been doing it so long. I've brought the anxiety down to a level that's manageable. Okay. I'm fixing to give you guys an exercise. And I came up with this a couple weeks ago. This is absolute gold. This is gold, I tell you. You do this, you're cold. You are a stone cold prospecting master. Your confidence is through the roof. You don't have any worries or fears about calling. You'll call anybody, anytime, anywhere about anything. And guess what happens to you when you do this? Now you're hireable. Now you can look in the mirror and say, you know what? I'd hire me as an agent. You think about buyers and sellers in the market. Would you hire an agent that you knew was scared to make calls? No, you wouldn't. But that ain't you anymore. That's the old you. That's the old unhireable you who doesn't live here anymore. This is the new you. And now we're becoming the person. Now we're developing into an agent, a real agent, because a real agent ain't scared to call people, guys. I hate to break it to you. You ain't scared to call people. You're willing, because you know that you're calling people to help them buy and sell, to connect the dots with the buyers and sellers. All right, here's the exercise. I'm going to give you this exercise. I'm also going to give you a warm-up strategy at the end. And I'm going to give you one word before I get out of here. And if you'll execute on these three things, it's a wrap. So here's the exercise. When you're making your calls, the problem is we're on the triple dialers, etc., and we blow through these calls. And we don't give ourselves any time in between calls to really evaluate where we went wrong, how we could get better. So this is what you do. You get on either a single dialer or you hand dial, whatever. You can even do triple line. That's fine. But when you have a conversation and you run into an awkward moment in that you want to run to the awkward moments in these conversations as quick as possible, because the quicker you get through them, the quicker they're going to be past you. Every time you run into an awkward situation, you stop the dialer. You stop calling. You get a notebook, right? I got a notebook, right? This notebook is full of notes. You get a notebook and you start making a list. And so you stop the dialer right then and there. It's going to take you longer to make calls when you do this, but you give it 2 weeks. You stop the dialer and you write down what they said that threw you off. Because that's what you're scared of. You're scared that people are going to throw you off with stuff. So let's just rip the Band-Aid off. Let's go ahead and get all the different ways they can throw you off. Let's go ahead and tackle those right now as quick as possible so we can get past it, so we can move on to the confident you. So we're going to write down what they said that threw us off, that made the call awkward. And then we're going to think about how we should have came back at them. Maybe it's funny. Maybe it's witty. Maybe it's smooth. But you're going to write this thing down of because when you have like an argument with somebody and then like an hour later, you're like, oh man, I should have said this. That's what I want you to do. In the moment, it got you off guard because you're inexperienced and you never ran into this situation before. But when you run into it, you're going to write it down and come up with what your comeback is to that same scenario every time you hear that same scenario. Because here's the big secret, guys. You're only going to run into about, 10 different scenarios. They're only going to be able to throw you off about 10 different ways, if that. And then it's just different variations of these 10 different ways. And what happens is, and so you're going to run into these scenarios over and over and over again. So if you put a little thought, this is what agents don't do. They make all their calls and then they're done and they're like, okay. But if you stopped on every call that was weird and figured out what you should have said or how you should have said whatever to make it unweird, and then you look at what you put down and you memorize it, you digest it, you tweak it, and now you're ready. Every time that you hear that same thing, you're like, boom. And it happens so fast, it makes the prospect's head spin and they're like, whoa, what just happened? Like, man, I never heard that one before. And they're going to think, this is what they're going to think. They're going to think that you came up with that off the top of your head, but you didn't. You prepared. You're prepared. You're a prepared prospector. You know what you're going to say, and you know it's going to go smooth, and you know it's going to be great. And so then you write down what they said to throw you off. You come up with your comeback. Then you get right back on the phone. And let's say you hear the same thing and boom, you stick it. Oh, that feels good. The next call, you have another awkward moment. Okay, stop the dialer. We got our number 2. What did they say? How can we respond next time we run into this? And what happens is, and so what you're trying to do is you're trying to get to all those awkward, you're trying to get all those awkward moments. You're looking for the awkward moments so you can capitalize on them and create a data bank of comebacks for every single scenario that you've been thrown at. And it gets to where, I'm telling you right now, after about a week or two, you're never going to hear anything that throws you off ever again. And you're going to have the perfect comeback for every single one of them that's catered to you. It's customized around you and what you feel like you should have said. Not what Ricky would say, not what Ryan Serhant would say, not what the top agent in your office would say, what you would say. What makes you feel good, what you think is the best fit for that scenario, that's what matters. What's going to roll off your tongue. And you come up with, you get through like 5 or 10 of these, it's a wrap. And then what you do, every time you make calls, you glance at them, right? And so, and you want to look at this every morning. You want to look at this until you've got this stuff ingrained in you where it's second nature. When somebody says something, you know exactly how you're going to come back at them that makes it smooth, organic, natural feeling, and keeps the conversation flowing and takes the conversation where you want it to go, the direction you want the conversation to go in. Now you have complete control of the situation, which is why you're scared to make calls, because you feel like you're not in control. If you'll do this and go through this little phase of making calls really slowly and not worry about how many calls you're making, but be more concerned with building your data bank of comebacks, in a couple of weeks, man, oh my gosh, the agents that I've had doing this, it's been crazy, dramatic results. I've never seen results so fast in terms of phone skills as I've seen of people that I've told to do this that go do it for 2 weeks. I mean, it like fast forwards their entire career, because remember, this is the number one reason why agents fail. This is the number one reason why 71% of agents didn't sell a house last year. They're not having enough conversations, A, because they're scared to make calls, but then B, the people they do talk to aren't going to do business with them because they can tell they're scared. And so this is why they're not doing any business. So when you can fast forward the process of becoming a master prospector, again, whether you're calling Zillow leads, open house leads, social media leads, cold calling, I don't care. When you can become a master at communication and have your comebacks down, and I'm giving you the path to do it instantly within a couple of weeks, dude, it takes agents decade, like it literally took me a decade and a half to do this. I just gave you the blueprint to knock this out in the next couple of weeks and literally fast forward your career a decade. Are you willing to give up a couple of weeks to fast forward your career a decade? Because you get this down, everybody's going to want to hire you. You're going to have more business because you're talking to more people. The people you're talking to know that you're the one. You're the one, not just because of the confidence, but also because you're more focused on what they want instead of what you want. You don't care if they say no, and they can tell. It's oozing all over you. They know that you don't need them, because I'm going to tell you something. The more they think that you need them, the less they feel like they need you. The more they feel like you don't need them, the more they feel like they need you. It's facts. Straight facts. This is how sales actually works. Mainstream sales, and it's getting some steam that this is the way it works. I'm seeing it more and more. But there's still a lot of just the canned, high pressure stuff. It's like, man, when are you guys going to just knock that off and get rid of it? Okay, so that's the exercise. All right. Let me know in the comments if you guys if this is resonating at all. And if you guys are loving this this podcast. By the way, this podcast is on Apple. It's on Spotify. So go there. Go to Apple. Give me a 5-star review. This is episode number 5 of the Ricky Carruth Show. And I got some really cool shows coming up, some interviews and stuff you guys are really going to love. Of course, I'll be here live on YouTube and then post it on the podcast channels and everything. But before I give you this warm-up strategy that I always used, and I'm going to give you this one word that will change your the entire game for you. Before I do that, I was going to let you guys know about the free listing appointment challenge coming up June 9th. It's free. I'll put a link in the description, or just go to setmorelistingappointments.com, sign up, join the Facebook group. And here's one for you on that. When you sign up for the challenge, you join the challenge Facebook group, okay? And the first step of the challenge is to do a selfie style video saying, hey, it's Ricky Carruth down here, whatever real estate company, whatever area. Hope you guys are doing good. I'm excited to take this challenge. I've been a real estate agent for, 4 years, and I just can't wait to dig in here with you guys and see what we can do. Bam. Now, if I can't, listen to this, the same reason that buyers and sellers won't hire an agent that they know is scared to make calls, for the same reason, if I can't get you to post a selfie style video on a Facebook group just for agents, it's not even on your profile, just for agents, how am I ever going to get you to get on the phone to make calls? You guys see why I do this? Like, you got to bust through and become a different person. Okay. So setmorelistingappointments.com. It's going to be a banger. Can't wait. On that 4th day, I make calls so you guys can watch me in action, make calls with you. We make calls together. I'm calling prospects live. You're calling prospects. It's a good time. So the warm-up strategy. So every morning when I was making calls, I went through my morning routine. My morning routine was I would make a to-do list, which I still do today. I sit here. Let's see. Where is mine for today? Here's mine from today. Like I like all the stuff that I got going on, my little to-do list, my appointments, my hot leads, my socials I want to post on. Like, it's all right here on one sheet of paper. I do it every morning. So I do that. And then, so I like went through my emails and just really study my business, make sure everything was on this one sheet of paper, right? It took me 15 minutes. At 8:15, I was studying MLS Hot Sheet. The new listings, the pending listings, the expireds, the closed deals. I want to know every single thing happening in the market in real time. So I did that for 15 minutes. Then I would look at my ABS list, my hot buyers and sellers, my active buyers and sellers, my pending deals, and my active deals. And I would see if there's anything there I needed to follow up on, any fires I needed to put out before I started making my cold calls. And there always was fires to put out, a couple of active buyers and sellers that I needed to follow up with. And so that's my warm-up strategy. I would warm up on my follow-up call. So I would normally have maybe 2 to 5 warm-up follow-up calls of people that I was currently working with. And that little warm-up strategy really helped me get into the cold calls with a little bit better mindset than just making that first call cold, because I'd already been on the phone for a second talking, the blood was already flowing, and I was already kind of in that place. You know how when you make calls, the first, after you do like the first like 2 or 3, then like it gets easy. Like the rest of the call session isn't as bad as those first couple calls. Well, I took this as a way to kind of have those first couple calls with people that I was following up with. And that really helped me because it's like I went ahead and went through that, and I was already to the point where I was like the blood was flowing and I was like excited. I was excited, like I was in the call session basically already, and I just hit dial and I just got at it. So that was my little warm-up strategy that I would use to try to fend off the anxiety a little bit. Because the anxiety is only really in the first couple calls. If you really think about it, if you think about all your call sessions, the biggest amount of anxiety are in those first few calls. And so if you could actually do a first few calls where it's not as like it's somebody you're following up with, those little easier calls, then you can kind of ease that anxiety down to a level that is, again, I'm gonna say it again, manageable. So you can use this strategy of calling people you're following up with as a way to mitigate your anxiety and get it down to a level that's manageable before you actually get into the cold prospecting, if that makes sense. So that was my warm-up strategy. I hope you guys find some value with that. And it helps you, like it helped me a ton, because again, I had massive call anxiety. And if you have it, if you're just tuning in, just want you to know, totally normal. I applaud you. Like I celebrate you. Like you're a normal human being that has feelings. And like if you have anxiety around calls, guess what? It means you're a good person. It means you are a good person. Why? Because you're worried that you're gonna maybe offend somebody, or that you're gonna bother somebody, or that maybe you're worried that you can't give them the service that they need. Like that is kind of, you're being a good person. Like you're thinking about them. So you're in like your headspace is kind of in the right area in terms of thinking about them, but you got to twist it around and realize that by you creating it, the high level of anxiety that creates procrastination, you're holding yourself back and catering to people who don't even want to do business with you. I did a whole rant about catering to people that don't want to do business with you, that pushes up people away that want to do business with you, earlier in the podcast. So if you're just tuning in, go back and watch the replay of that, because I kind of laid it down. Wouldn't you guys agree that we're here when I said it? Okay, so the one word I want to leave you guys with. Let me check in the comments before I do this. Oh, where do you find scripts? Go to zerotodiamond.com. zerotodiamond.com and download the 90-day action plan. It's all up in there. All the scripts. It's all my scripts. So the one word. Matter of fact, put in the comments, what do you think my one word is for today? I want to see what a couple of you guys say. I'm gonna give it just a second and see what you guys think the one word is. It's a compound word. It's actually 2 words hyphenated. Give you a little hint. Courage, comfortable, faith, confidence. Wow, 5, and they're all different words. Resilience, okay, 6 different words here. Awkward, role play. Haven't heard the same word twice yet. Okay. So the last one there was role play. Action, like there hadn't been the same word twice yet. Okay, role play. That's a good one. Let me talk. Wow. Adaptability, pick up the phone, action plan. All those are different words. Crazy. Work, fearless. Okay. So let me talk about role play for a second, because I never role played. And like, I don't not suggest it, like role play, whatever. But like, I want you to realize something about role playing is that it's an artificial environment that, yeah, you can kind of start to get the lingo down and everything. But like, I practiced on my prospects. And so every single call is just practice. It's not the real thing. You're practicing to get better for the next one. And on that one, you're practicing to get better for the next one. It's not the game. It's not the Super Bowl. It's not the win or lose and you win or go home. It's not. It's like lose and win. You win when you lose. It's practice, right? In practice, when you lose, you still win because you're practicing to get better. It's the same thing here. None of these calls are the real thing. So when I didn't role play at all, I was like, I'm not going to role play. I'm going to like role play on my prospects. I'm going to get better by calling people. So I know people that role play and, they enjoy it or whatever. That's fine. Everybody's different. All right, cool. So what's my one word? It's a hyphenated word. All right. And here it is. Self-dependability. Let me tell you why this is so important with our subject today. Because of this. We just identified. And if you're just tuning in, I'll throw this question out. You comment if it's a yes. But we just clarified that if a buyer or seller is looking to buy or sell in today's market, would they hire an agent who they knew for a fact was scared to make calls? And you can just put in the comments if you're a yes, if you would hire an agent that you knew for a fact was scared to make calls. And so if that's the case, then wait a minute. Does that mean that they're going to hire you based on what you do behind closed doors? Ooh, I think it is. You can't be somebody else behind closed doors and then fake it in front of clients and think that's going to do the job. It's not. You got to be the person. And so here's what it comes down with. Because when I'm talking to agents and they're like, Ricky, how do I get over my fears of making calls? I'm scared to pick up the phone. I'm like, okay, cool. What's your schedule like? And they're like, why are you asking me about my schedule? I'm like, I'll tell you in just a sec. Like, what, tell me about your schedule. And they're like, well, sometimes I get up at, 7 or 7:30. I'm like, all right, we're right there. That's why you're scared to make calls. They're like, whoa, what do you mean? I'm like, if you tell yourself you're going to go to the gym or you're going to do something, you're going to commit to something and you don't commit to it, or if you're an uncommitted person, like you just don't commit to stuff, right? You might show up to work at 8. You might show up to work at 8:30. You might show up to work at 10. If you tell yourself, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow at 7 and you don't, then that's why you're scared to make calls, because you know that you're not dependable to yourself. And so subconsciously, maybe even consciously, you know that you can't be dependable to your clients. And that's why you're scared to make calls, because you're thinking to yourself, oh, I can't even like go to the gym when I said I'm going to go to the gym. Like you said, you're going to make calls and you don't make calls. You're not dependable to yourself. How do you think that you could ever be dependable to a client? And so, that subconsciously or even consciously, it. And so it's holding you back because you're like, oh man, I really am going to have to try to fake it here to try to get them to like me, because I'm not who I say I am. I'm not a dependable person because I'm not even dependable to myself. It all starts with you guys. It all starts with you. You got to become the person. You got to do the stuff behind closed doors that the agent that they would hire would do. And it's real simple. This is real simple stuff, but you got to do it. And it's not just doing it, it's becoming it. You have to become it. That I believe deep down that's why so many agents fail in this business, because they go out there and they try to do these things without becoming these things. You can't just like do, like number one in your market. No, you have to become the number one agent in your market, right? It's a lifestyle. It's who you are. You can't get away with just, being one way at work and then one way at home. Like, yeah, you got your private life and stuff, but who you are is who you are. And people see right through you. And they can tell if you're not a dependable person. They're like, there's something going on with this person. I can't put my finger on it, but there's something going on with this person. There's something off. And it's like, you know what it is in the back of your head. You're not dependable to yourself. You told yourself you were going to make calls and didn't. You told yourself you were going to go gym and didn't. You told yourself you were going to eat healthy and you didn't. You told yourself you were going to do all these things. You made your New Year's resolutions and you gave up on them after a week or two. You know who you are, but it doesn't have to be who you're going to be moving forward. That's what I want to unlock. I want to unlock the true, authentic you. I want you to wake up. I want the real you to wake up today. And if you're just tuning into this, even if you watch this thing all the way through, go back and watch it again so that you can actually understand the principles. I'm teaching you principles here, the principles that can help take your life to another level. And not only that, but the exercises that I shared with you that will turn you into a stone cold calling, prospecting, lead generating killer within just a few weeks. I literally just laid out gold on the table for you to fast forward your career by decades. All right. Cool, guys. Got some cool stuff coming up on the podcast. I can't wait to share. Subscribe here to YouTube. Go to iTunes, Apple, whatever. Give me a 5-star review and join me for the Set More Listing Appointments Challenge. You will hear me calling prospects live, so you can hear everything I'm talking about in action in real time. I don't know what's going to happen. When I call those prospects, I don't know what's going to happen in front of thousands of people. I have no idea how this is going to go, but I do it. And if I will do it in front of thousands of people, you should at least be able to do it in front of nobody. I'm trying to inspire you. I'm trying to lead by example. I'm not trying to, I am. I'm leading by example, and I want you to follow me. I want you to put in the work. I'm not going to ask you to do something that I'm not willing to do. I don't even sell anymore. Why am I making calls? Because I'm proving to you, A, I can help you. B, that I'm willing to do everything I'm telling you to do. I'm not better than you. I'm not better than the task. If I lost everything tomorrow, I'd go to work at McDonald's if I had to. I ain't got no pride. Pride is gone. Pride's been gone. Never had it. Don't care about it. Ego, gone. Never had it. All right. I love you guys. I hope this helped. I hope it snapped you out of something. I hope it gave you some actionable tips that you can actually go and take action on right now today to build a better future, because that's what I want for all you guys. All right. Love you so much. We'll see you guys on the next podcast. Reach out on Instagram if you need anything at all. I answer every single DM myself, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Take care. Much love. God bless. And go sell something.